Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I got a treat for you today. You might remember Ken and Stephanie from the Lazy Days tour. They also have a really cool vintage Can-Am style trailer. They're going to tell us all about it today and give us a tour inside and out. Hello, Ken and Stephanie. Welcome back to New Jersey Outdoor Adventures.
Hi, Patrick. Good to see you again. And this is our 1960 Winnebago 15-foot Can-Am trailer. We've had it about 5 years. Years ago, we traveled across the country back and forth in a van, tradesman van that I rebuilt. And ever since then, we've still had that gypsy urge. So we wanted to get a small trailer. And my sister had bought us a book on vintage trailers, and we saw the Can-Am and really liked it. And we started looking on all different sites, RV Trader and multiple other sites for vintage trailers. And we found this one out in Pennsylvania. So we went out, bought it right away. As soon as we got out there and saw it, we bought it. It's all aluminum. It was painted, but most of the paint was coming off. And we just took the balance of it off, and we're going to be polishing it and keeping it aluminum. It had the double stripes down the side with the trademark W in the front for Winnebago. We're going to replace that after we polish it up. And it's got these aluminum extruded windows that come up so you can keep them open in the rain. And all aluminum around the edges. Everything is aluminum. Even the inside of the door is aluminum. Screen has a screen door. It's original. And this opens up so you can get to the handle. Now this handle has a story. This handle didn't work in the beginning. And I took it to a locksmith, and he did something to it, but it worked a little bit, but it didn't really work. So I found a schematic for the handle. I went online actually first to see if I could buy one used. And I could, but it was $500 for this. So I got the schematic, and I found a couple of parts that were missing, and a couple of them I ordered online, and a couple of them I just went to Home Depot, got a spring and a ball bearing out of a roller board and fixed it. So now the handle works fine, and it's quite sturdy. And it's got a pull down stair that this folds up, goes up underneath when you're traveling. And I believe those are 16-inch wheels. And it's got a small outside storage where you can keep, jacks. And so you can't keep too much in there, but you can keep your jacks and stuff in there. I did replace, this has a rain guard above it. It's aluminum rain guard to protect water from getting in that hatch. And these are the leveling jacks. Now these aren't to lift the trailer, these are just to keep it steady when you're walking inside. And Patrick is showing you the underneath there. It's in pretty good shape for 1960. You figure this thing is 60 years old. And this is a rain gutter around the side here. And just to bring the rain off. And up at the top, there's a track up here that you can put an awning in. The awning it has a hard end to it, and it just slides right in to that track. And you can manually pull it out with poles and have an awning there. All the windows have screens on them, so when you can have them open at night and not get bitten up by mosquitoes. We did replace, a friend of mine, Mike, helped me with the trailer, and we replaced the lights, the running lights with LED. And the back lights with LED lights. Got a few dings, but it adds character to it. And this is a lighted license plate. This is a license plate light that was the original. I just replaced the cap on it, it was broken. And again, the extruded aluminum windows with the screens. And these windows just crank open. Yeah, the kitchen, there's Louvre windows in the kitchen, which is really nice. This also helps keep the rain out, keeps air coming in. It's the vent for the refrigerator, and this is also another vent. We have a 12-volt battery, just a golf cart battery right now, just to run the lights, but I'm going to be upgrading to a bigger battery. And I'm not sure, but I think these are the original wheel covers. And this is the electric plug into shore power. Just plug it in there, and then drip charges your batteries, and you run your lights and appliances. There's a couple of outlets inside. This is where you used to be able to put water in here into your tank. I have a little different setup right now. Around the front, you just got their reflectors. I replaced those with, they looked exactly like the original. There's the window in the middle opens up again with a screen. And this is a propane tank cover. It holds 2 propane 20-gallon tanks. And I added in the bars back here to put a battery box. So when I upgrade to the bigger battery, I can put it back over here. And the manual jack to lift the trailer up, to hook it up. And the VIN number here, this is the original VIN number, and it gives you it says WB6, which is the 6-month, 1960. It's a 15-foot, and it looks like this was the 556th unit that they made. And this is the hitch. There's a lock, so somebody can't, get under your hitch there, because this has to be taken off, and that has to be turned around to open this up for a hitch ball. I guess we could want to go inside now. So the kitchen is in the middle of the unit, and down at this end we have a 2-burner Suburban propane stove, stainless steel sink with a hand pump for water. We keep the water container underneath the dinette bench. There's like a 2.5-gallon fresh water container. The sink drains out right outside the camper underneath, and we usually have a tank out there to catch the dirty sink water. And we replaced, the countertop was replaced. Originally this had a slide-in stove that was beyond repair, so we put the drop-in stove and put a new countertop and filled that in. The refrigerator was also ran on propane, and it was not in good shape. Replaced it with a dorm refrigerator, runs on regular household electric, but most campgrounds have electric, so it's not a problem. And we have drawers here that made quite well. It's all solid wood. And keep different things in here. Right now we're not using it too much, so we don't have a whole lot in here. There's four of these drawers. That one's a little smaller because of the wheel well. And the bottom one as well. Just keep little things in there. This is under the sink. And you can see the drain. It's just a tube that goes out the camper and then goes into that tank, and you can just dump the tank someplace. This is original. This aluminum, I don't know what you call this, trim. And this is the heat for the heat. It's aluminum all along the side. And we've replaced the back with stainless steel subway tiles, small subway tiles. Again, Mike helped me a lot with that, friend Mike. And I bought from Vintage Trailer Supply, we bought this little fan which works quite well. It doesn't oscillate, but it definitely keeps that end clean. My wife made the curtains, and she put double layer so they're blackout. And the cabinets above hold quite a bit of food. We keep our food up there when we're camping. And I believe this is all birch, I think. And when I got it, I sanded everything by hand, with an electric sander, but I sanded it all down and revarnished it. And I'm 6'4", so it's about, I don't know, maybe it's about 6'2". I have to just scoot down a little bit, but it's pretty comfortable. And I replaced the vent with just a manual vent up here, which even just being manual, if you open all the windows, the hot air just goes right at it. And there's lots of windows in here. And over here, this was originally a huge furnace, which I could never understand why they had such a big furnace for such a small trailer. But it was, the pipes were all corroded and everything. So he took it out and made more storage here for like a food pantry, and put in a little light at the bottom there that you could just flick on the switch when you're coming in, just to give you a little footlight there. Inside there's one closet, which is big enough, and we also keep the porta potty in here, because there is no bathroom in this trailer. Most of the time you use the bathrooms in the campground, but that's, porta potty is good for in the middle of the night. And we have a bed. I'm not sure how big this is. It's probably like a full-size bed when you open it up. But if you just slide this out and just put down the pillows, and there's the bed. And we've got a couple of wall lights, one there and one up here. These are incandescent. The lights underneath the cabinets are LED lights, and there's a extension for the counter that lifts up, which adds a lot of space. Actually, the counter has, I've seen some newer trailers that don't even have this much counter space. But what else can I show you over here? The Louvre window. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows in this trailer. And so if you open all these up, you get cross ventilation in every direction. And this dinette is also, it goes down into a bed. This flips down. I mean, I could show you if you want. Just take these two pillows off. Flips you up. There's another bed. It's a single, but we've had 2 thin adults sleeping in it. My wife's sister made the cushions, made the covers for the cushions for us. And we have cabinets above the dinette and bed. There's 2 cabinets up here that you can we store different, just different stuff up here. It's a little hammock there. Camp stove, and these, if you lift this, you got storage underneath here. We usually keep a couple of those plastic boxes down there with bedding or whatever we had needed in there. There's one on the other side, but that we use for the water. So it's just real easy to set this back up again. There we go. So for a couple with a child, this is great. This is really perfect. And originally, the camper in the back, if you want to swing around, I failed to mention it before, but there was 2 brackets on either side that you could put. They had pipes that went across with the canvas between it, so you could sleep another child, like a bunk above the main bed. Underneath, if you put this back up, there's also 3 storage bins underneath here. We usually keep plastic boxes, bins in there. There's an outlet here and a 12-volt outlet. And there's another outlet here, 110, and another 12 volt up here over the table, so you can put your computer, plug your computer in while you're working. And that's about it. Well, pretty small, but it's very comfortable.
So in your research stages for buying a vintage trailer, I'm sure you came across some Airstreams and a lot of other brands, maybe some brands that aren't even in business anymore. Winnebago is and Airstream is. What made you choose this one? What stood out about this particular one for you?
Well, basically it was the canned ham part, the size. We wanted something that we could tow with a fairly small SUV. I think the weight on this is about the gross weight is I think about 2,400 with loaded, with stuff in it. And so we can pull it with our Hyundai Santa Fe. We just like the styling of it, and I like the woodwork inside. It just feels very cozy, like a little nest.
Being around Airstreams for 23 years, I've never been inside, stepped in foot of a vintage Winnebago trailer, and I see a lot of similarities to my 1961 Airstream Bandy in there. So it's good to see another company's approach, and the few vendors that were available back then. There's really cool details on the window and the hardware in there. Do you have any tips maybe you could give our viewers if they were going to go out and get one of these vintage trailers? Maybe something that you learned along the way that you could help someone else out with?
I mean, I think you want to check out as much as you can underneath and make sure that there's not a whole lot of rust. Whatever you can do to check out the axle.
Yeah, we worried about that.
Yeah, we worried about that. We had actually, after we bought it, we had it checked out by a trailer company, and it was good. It also has, you want something that has electric brakes. We found when we picked it up, it had electric brakes, but we didn't have it in our vehicle, and we were driving through the mountains, and you could feel it pushing a little bit, especially for the first time that we were doing it. So the electric brakes help a lot.
And just for our folks that maybe don't know about electric brakes and why they're required, but any trailer or travel trailer that is over a certain amount of weight, it is required to have brakes. And if the trailer has brakes, you're required to have those brakes work. So your vehicle, if not equipped, which very few vehicles are, would have to have an electric brake controller installed, which would require the proper hitch receiver and a 7-way wiring harness with a 12-volt charge lead. So those are some of the things. If you're rushing out and going to buy an Airstream or a vintage trailer you saw on Facebook Marketplace and you want to take it home that day, you do want to make sure your vehicle has that equipment in it. Otherwise, you could get yourself in a jam.
Also, you want a breakaway release too, because if the trailer breaks away, the electric brakes will break it and keep it from running away totally.
And for folks that are new with that, a trailer breakaway cable is this up here. And these are the safety chains you'd hook up to the tow vehicle, but the trailer breakaway cable is this right here. It's a little plunger.
Yeah, this.
And that cable would fasten to your hitch receiver.
I put it on the chain.
And if the trailer ever comes disconnected, it would then activate the brakes on the trailer so the trailer doesn't pass you in the shoulder. That would be a pretty scary day. But also, in order for that to work, the trailer has to have a battery in it, and the battery has to be charged.
Right.
Otherwise, the brakes won't come on. So that would be a tip too.
Also, you want to look for water damage inside. Look inside the cabinets, especially the upper cabinets, and make sure that there's no discoloring from water. It's hard to be 100% with that because you just don't know sometimes. You can't tear the walls out.
And water intrusion on most trailers happens where the seams are. So, a place to check would be a corner too, out down by the floor. So usually there's a dinette or a bed or a kitchen butted up against those areas. So you just do want to look inside those cabinets, look at the floor underneath. Because someone could put all new flooring down and cover up soft spots or cover them with some type of metal so they're not soft. But if you want to make sure you have a structurally sound subfloor, those areas would be the areas that would have the water damage, and they're kind of hidden.
When you're walking through it, if you do feel something feels soft, definitely look into that.
And did you find insurance was difficult to get for something like this,
actually,
Vinton?
the insurance on this, it's covered by whatever tow vehicle you have. We don't have collision. There's no collision on it. It's just liability.
Okay, so most tow vehicles, if you have a car insurance policy, it will cover a trailer if you're towing the trailer. So that would cover it anytime you're physically attached to your tow vehicle. And your homeowners right now will be covering it because it's on your property. But if anything happens outside of your home or when the trailer is disconnected from your tow vehicle, that might be a gray area. So it might be something to look into with Vintage Trailer Supply. My 1961 Airstream Bambi, I did get a separate insurance policy for it because of its value. And now I'm covered when it's home, when it's towing, when it's off the tow vehicle, if I'm at a campground, a tree falls on it, someone hit and runs it, when it's not attached to my tow vehicle, those are the ways I'd be covered. And well, thank you for taking the time today to show us your 1960 Winnebago 15-foot Can-Am travel trailer. My first time being inside one. I'm super excited. I've been excited about this for several weeks now, waiting to do this. Well,
We're excited to show it to you.
Yes, exactly.
Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, comment, share, subscribe. I love it, and we'll see you soon.